Hello everybody on YouTube, Christian Dragoon here, representing Team Trading Card Bros, coming at you all with a Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile today of probably a big fan favorite within the entire Yu-Gi-Oh! Community, and I am of course a big fan of this as well. And that is a deck profile of the new Blue Eyes White Dragon. After so much wait, after so much hype for it, after waiting so many years and waiting for this to come, we finally got more support for Blue Eyes White Dragon, and here it is in its fullest glories. We also got the bulk of the Felgrand support with it too to help the deck speed up some plays here and there. And yeah, I'm very excited with this build right here. I've been anticipating this build right here ever since I finally got the cards together, and I have been having an epic blast with this deck. This deck has been non-stop fun, and I am loving just about every moment and every minute that I have been having with this deck ever since I finally put this deck together. So I'll be explaining to you all my choices of what I'm currently doing, what I'm currently with the build right here and such. And yeah, with that being said, let's move on straight into the deck profile right now, shall we? Alright, start off with the monster lineup. Start off with the big boss himself. Start off with Blue Eyes White Dragons. It's Blue Eyes White Dragon. You gotta play 3 of him if you're playing a Blue Eyes deck, of course. Nothing really too much to say about him, of course. And then next up, we play 3 copies of 3 Blue Eyes alternative White Dragons. By just revealing Blue Eyes in your hand, you can special summon this guy from your hand in the field. Can't be special summoned by other ways, except unless he's been summoned by this effect first. So if you do summon him by this effect first to the board, and then if he dies by whatever reason, you can use card effects to bring him back from the graveyard later on such, but you cannot special summon him from the deck to the field, which is why if you go on Dev Pro, if you were to test play this deck, you would not be able to summon him with effects of, let's say, Whitestone Legend, or Whitestone Agents, pardon me, so you would not be able to use special summon this guy with that guy's effect. And once per turn, by declaring that you will not attack with him, you can destroy one monster from your opponent's side field. So it's pretty much Chaos Sorcerer, only except he destroys instead of banishes, which is just amazing. A great 3000 beer that just comes out of nowhere. It gives you great access to where Galaxy's plays with your certain tuner monsters, some nice synchro plays here and there as well. And he is just a destructive dragon in general that just destroys stuff. And yeah, can't go wrong with Blue Eyes Ultra Dragon in general. And then next up, we play through 2 copies of Dragon Spear of White. Its stats are a little bit weaker than the first 2 Blue Eyes that we've seen, but he's got a really nice effect to make up for it. 3 is too cloggy, 1 you're never going to see too much, 2 is perfectly just fine right here. His effect is, his name is always treated as Blue Eyes, so you have a card effect that says special summon Blue Eyes, you can special summon him with those Blue Eyes effects. His name is he's treated as a normal monster while he's in the hand or graveyard, so if you want to play some sort of Heretic Blue Eyes deck, it could work using him with him and which is amazing. And when he is special summoned, you can banish 1 spell track card your opponent controls. So get rid of those annoying pendulum cards you want to deal with, get rid of those back row cards, get rid of a lot of cards in general. And he also has the additional effect of during your turn, during either player's turn, you can send this card to the graveyard to special summon 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand in the graveyard. So in case push comes to shove, if something happens where this guy ain't gonna stay on the field no more, you can come on nowhere, use the guy's effect, bring out Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand in the field, and then you can use Silver's Cry, since he's treated as a normal monster while he's in the graveyard, thanks to his effect. After you use his effect, bring out Blue Eyes, you can use Silver's Cry out of nowhere, bring him right back, and then his effect will go out to banish another back row card, which is just amazing for a deck like this. And that's it for the boss Blue Eyes monsters. Now for the boss Felgrand engine. We play 2 copies of Felgrand and then 2 copies of Archbrave Dragon. We only play 2 of each, instead of 3 of each, because this deck is a little bit more focused in Blue Eyes and everything else, of course. And there is a good possibility additional copy of each of these guys will potentially clog up the deck. So you only really need so many of these, and that's about it, really. And 2 is just fine right here. These guys are just great because Felgrand, when you special from graveyard, you banish a monster from the opponent's field or your opponent's side. In your opponent's graveyard, and then when he kills a monster in battle, you can special summon 1 level 7 8 dragon from either player's graveyards to your side field. So obviously you spec your Blue Eyes monsters if you want your Archbrave, and depending on what your opponent is playing, what they could really have in the graveyard, you can also use guys' effect to snatch away one of your opponent's dragons from their graveyard and use that dragon against them, which is insane. An Archbrave dragon, when you special from graveyard to field, you can banish all face-up spells that your opponent controls. And he also has effective work during standby phase after this card from the graveyard. Special summon any level 7 or 8 dragon from graveyard field, so obviously get your Blue Eyes engine going and your Felgrand out of graveyard, which is just insane. So yeah, these guys are just really great. They help Blue Eyes speed up a lot of good plays, and they also help Blue Eyes get around some sticky situations in case things don't always go along their way. And that is it for the boss monsters. Now for the little guys, we play 3 copies of Sage with Eyes of Blue. This guy is really nice. His effect is when he's normal summoned to the field, you can add one level 1 light tuner monster from your deck to your hand, except for another copy of him, which is amazing because everything else in this deck is all level 1 light tuners. So this guy will, so you will not miss out any opportunity to use the guy's effect. He also has the effect where you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard to target a monster you control, send that target to the graveyard, special summon a Blue Eyes from your hand, deck, I believe hand or deck to the field. Hand deck, send one special summon Blue Eyes from your hand. From your deck to the field, I apologize. Plus, I want to blow his monster from your deck to the field, which is just insane right there. So, and it also combos all with Main with Eyes of Blue, because Main will go off to get your Blue Eyes out of nowhere, and then Sage will go off after such, and you will get out either your Blue Eyes Dragon or your white, if you want, your Dragon Spirit White to pop out another back row card, and then this will give you some great, huge, insane Exceed plays with the second ability, where the first ability will give you some great access to some synchro abilities, which is just really nice right there. So yeah. 3 Sages is just really nice. And then next up, we play 2 copies of Maiden with Eyes of Blue. Originally, my original plan was to play only 3 of her, not or at a time. But after some later for test playing, I feel like 2 is the better number than 3 right now at the moment. 3 can be a little bit cloggy. 1 you're never going to see too much. 2 is perfectly just fine, and she is very searchable. I'll say just effect, so it's no problem right there. She's just a great card in general because when she's targeted for effect or targeted for attack, you can activate her ability to get out of Blue Eyes Dragon for your deck to field, which is just nice. And all around, there's also some nice cards in the deck right here as well, where it can combo off with her effect as well, where you can possibly bring out a Crystal Wing Single Dragon out of nowhere, which is just amazing, which is just awesome. And yeah, Maiden is just a really nice card in general. I'm really glad I'm still playing Maiden. And the last of the monster lineup, we played 3 copies of the Ancient Stone of the White Stone of Ancients, and only 1 copy of White Stone Ledger right here. I play this ratio right here. Only 1 White Stone because you normally do have ways where you get Blue Eyes to your hand pretty well as it is. So really the 1 White Stone is all you really need. But I do like playing the 1 just in case when the convenience happens to spark up when you need the opportunity to happen to use this effect right here. So the 1 White Stone is just fine right now. And 3 White Stone of Ancients, that's really where this card becomes really amazing. During your turn, you can banish it from the graveyard to add any Blue Eyes card from your graveyard back to your hand. So this allows you to recycle Blue Eyes White Dragon, Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon, and Dragon Spirit White from your graveyard to hand amazingly. And also, it also has the additional effect where during the standby phase, end phase, pardon me, when this card has been sent to the graveyard, you can special summon from your deck to the field 1 Blue Eyes monster to the field. So obviously, get your Blue Eyes White Dragon or Blue Eyes or Dragon Spirit White from your deck to the field and be able to proceed with some really nice, powerful plus plays from there, which is just nice. And that is it for the monster lineup. Now for the spell lineup, we play 3 copies of the Melody of the Waking Dragon. By just pitching 1 card, we can add 2 dragons from our deck to our hands that has 3,000 or more attack or 2,500 or less defense. So obviously we use this card, get out our Blue Eyes White Dragons or Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragons as fast as we possibly can. And with a discard cost, we can really utilize this really well because depending on who we discard, we could make some really nice combos from later on plays, which is just nice. And then 3 copies of Return of the Dragon Lords, which allows us to revive one of our level 7-8 dragons. So pretty much any of our boss dragons we revived earlier. And if any of our dragons are about to be destroyed, we can banish this card from the graveyard to prevent the destruction of any dragon, which is just nice and amazing. I really like this card in general. This is something that Blue Eyes decks needed for a very long time, and I'm really glad we got it. And the next up, as I mentioned earlier, we play 2 copies of Silver's Cry, so we can get back our Blue Eyes White Dragons or Dragon Spirits White from our graveyards back to our hands, or field back to the spot we can by special summoning them, and we use this for our Dragon Spirit White. We can use the effect for Dragon Spirit White to pop off a face down card right out of nowhere, which is just a really nice effect right there, I must say. My apologies for that. My battery died the last minute. Good thing I have a spare battery for the occasion. Anyways, 2 Dragons Ravine, which is just a really nice card in general. It's a field spell card that allows us to send our dragons for our decks to graveyard as fast as we can, so we can speed up our Blue Eyes plays and our Felgrand plays very nicely, very fastly, which is nice. And then 2 copies of Mausoleum of White. This was the card I was mentioning earlier that combos out with me very nicely. It has 3 effects. The third effect we're not going to use because we don't have Burst to Destruction in this deck right here. But the first 2 effects we're really going to use. First effect is we get additional normal summon for the turn as long as the first summon was for a monster that has with Eyes of Blue is named. And the second effect is once per turn we can send 1 normal monster from our decks to the graveyard to target 1 monster we control, and that monster will gain 100 attack defense for every star that monster has. But we don't care for the boosting part too much. What we care for is the fact that it combos all with Maiden. It combos all with Maiden very well, along with Sage of Eyes of Blue, because this will turn Sage with Eyes of Blue into a single Crystal Wing single dragon on its own, which is just really nice. For those of you who do not know what I'm talking about, I did a combo video about that. I'll leave a link in the description down below how that combo can work out for those of you who are interested in that combo. And then next up, we play 2 terraforming, so we can add our field spell cards from our decks to our hand. I am trying to find one more. I'm trying to find space to put in the third copy, so I can have 3 terraformings because there is multiple options for terraformings besides just the 1 option. So maybe still with the further test playings, I will have a 3rd terraforming in. But for right now, at the moment, 2 terraforming seems to be just fine. 3 trade-ins because we are playing 10 level 8s in our decks. So why not turn those 10 dead level 8s into discard material for our trade-ins. And then for the 1-ofs, 1 Dragon Shrine so we can speed up our milling and our dumping and get our dragons graveyard more optimally. And 1 Soul Charge so we can revive our dragons from the graves to do some nice powerful plush plays from there. And that right there was the main deck. Currently right now we're not playing traps because the deck doesn't really need traps right now, and the deck is a little bit more focused on pushing on bringing out those big blue eyes as fast as we can. So no traps seems to be necessary right now at the moment. Now for the extra deck, we have 3 copies of Blue Eye Spirit Dragon, the new powerful awesome secret monster we recently got. Requires 1 tuner monster and 1 or more non-tuner Blue Eyes monster. So pretty much any of our boss Blue Eyes monsters and a tuner monster will do right there. It has 3 effects. Effect 1 is players can only special summon 2 monsters at a time, so it does slow down a lot of decks that happen to be pendulum reliant. Second effect is once per turn you can negate a certain card effect that's activated in the graveyard. And third effect is during either player's turn, you can send this face-up single summon card to the graveyard to special summon from your extra deck to the field 1 light dragon type attribute dragon type monster from your extra deck to the field. So this allows you to get Azurize out of nowhere. This allows you to get Stardust Spark, Michael, the Lightsworn, and Ancient Fairy Dragon, which is part of the combo, which I'll be mentioning earlier. Again, I'll leave a link in the description down below for the Crystal Wing Dragon. And yeah, it's just a really great phenomenal card in general, and I really like Blue Eye Spirit Dragon as a whole. And for the rest of Synchros, we have the 1 Azurize I mentioned. Only 1 is needed because usually I just bring out the 1, and usually 1 alone does the job as it is. The 1 Stardust Spark, the 1 Michael, and the 1 Ancient Fairy, as I mentioned earlier, and the 1 Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon for the combo that I have been mentioning earlier. And again, the combo bringing up Crystal Wing in this deck right here, for those of you who do not know, will be in a link in the description down below. And for the rank 8 engine, for the rank 8, we have 1 number 38 that does spell negation and protection, certain protection for your monsters here and there, which is nice. And then for finally, the 1 number 62 and 1 Tachyon Dragon. They got some really nice effects here and there as such. This can potentially attack twice, and this becomes really big and massive depending on what you're up against. But they're not mostly there. They're not there for that. They're mostly there so we can bring out these 2 guys right here. The 2 copies of Full Armor Dragon and the 2 copies of Dark Matter Dragon for the obvious reasons what they can do stuff for the deck and such. And yeah, everybody, that right there was my Blue Eyes Felgrand deck profile for August 2016. It is a work in progress. I do like the way I have the build is right now. It has been functioning very well. However, there is always room for improvements, and within the near future, I will definitely be working out whatever improvements the deck definitely needs if it goes through any clearness problems and anything, etc. So, with that being said, let me know what you all think of this deck profile in the comment section down below. And for those of you who want to check out my channel, I'll leave the link in the description down below for my channel. And yeah, comment, rate, subscribe, all that good such. And I'll be out. Bye. Peace.